it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a black woman and hated because of my color.
The WNBA is once again at the center of a firestorm, and this time the debate is bigger than just one hard foul. After Alyssa Thomas delivered a controversial hit on Caitlin Clark, fans immediately erupted across social media, demanding answers and accusing the league of allowing its biggest star to become a constant target. But what happened next may have shocked basketball fans even more. Reports and reactions began circulating that legendary WNBA icon Cheryl Miller was deeply frustrated by what unfolded, reigniting a conversation that has been growing louder with every passing week. Was this simply aggressive basketball, or has the league reached a breaking point? Why are so many former players, analysts, and fans suddenly speaking out? And could this incident permanently change how officials handle physical play involving Caitlin Clark? The reaction online has been impossible to ignore. Millions of fans are debating whether Clark is being treated differently because of the massive attention she has brought to women's basketball. Some believe the physical defense is simply part of the game, while others argue that repeated incidents are hurting both the league's image and its fastest-rising superstar. Either way, the controversy has become one of the biggest stories in sports. Now all eyes are on Cheryl Miller, one of the most respected voices in basketball history. Her reaction has fueled even more speculation about whether the WNBA needs to protect its stars while still preserving the game's competitive edge. When legends begin weighing in, people pay attention, and that's exactly what's happening now. As the league faces mounting criticism, fans are demanding accountability, players are defending their positions, and every new statement seems to add even more fuel to the fire. Is this just another heated moment in a long season, or is it the start of a much bigger shift inside the WNBA? In today's video, we're breaking down everything surrounding Alyssa Thomas's hit on Caitlin Clark, Cheryl Miller's reported reaction, what players and analysts are saying, and why this controversy has the entire basketball world talking. Stay until the end, because several surprising details have left fans questioning what happens next, and the full story is far more complicated than the headlines suggest.
Mercury player Alyssa Thomas lodged her fist into Caitlin's neck in a play where no foul was called during the game.
Cheryl Miller responded violently and quickly when she saw video of Alyssa Thomas pushing Clark from behind while she was being stabbed in the eye. There have only been a few people in basketball history who really knew what pure competitive fire looked like. This woman, who played against famous opponents, was one of them. In terms of sportsmanship and fair play, though, even she could see that Alyssa Thomas's actions were wrong. However, pay attention to what Cheryl Miller says about the time of the shove. Alyssa Thomas is very upset right now because she realized what she did. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already before we go on. Let's go back to the story now. It was brave of the basketball player to talk about a problem that many of her fans have been thinking about, but no one else of her fame would have. Being a great defender is not the same as taking cheap shots at someone who is completely open and not looking. Cheryl Miller said that the time she played basketball was one of the hardest on the body in the history of women's basketball. You were aggressive when you didn't agree with someone and didn't wait for them to back off. You faced them as a warrior instead. Just that is what Cheryl Miller found disgusting about Alyssa Thomas's bad behavior. But right now, Cheryl Miller's words have ruined Alyssa Thomas's reputation completely. The basketball legend was very angry that Alyssa Thomas didn't do anything about what happened. Instead of saying she might have gone too far or that she felt bad about it, Alyssa Thomas lied and said that fans and the media were criticizing her unfairly. It was, damned if I do, damned if I don't, she said. But hearing those things made Cheryl Miller even more angry. Cheryl Miller says that the winners and legends of the game, who are truly great competitors, always take full responsibility for what they do, especially when they put another player in danger. When she saw Alyssa Thomas play the victim to avoid criticism, she said it made her think of athletes who knew they couldn't fight at the highest level. In response, they came up with more sketchy ways to change the game. Cheryl Miller did a good job of making Alyssa Thomas look like a bad player who does bad things because she doesn't have the basketball skills to match her bigger potential. The study by Cheryl Miller fully shows Caitlin Clark's unique traits right now. The analysis by Cheryl Miller really shines. Cheryl Miller says that Clark has the same unique qualities that made Jennifer Williams one of the best basketball players ever. Caitlin Clark is very smart when it comes to basketball, can make impossible shots, and most importantly, has a divine vision for making the lives of those around her better. So, people in the basketball community started talking about someone who follows basketball rules and also sees something that really bothers her. This young athlete is so good that she has to constantly watch out for cheap shots and dirty tricks instead of just focusing on reaching her full basketball potential. Cheryl Miller says that Alyssa Thomas's play shows everything that is wrong with some players choosing to play Clark instead of working hard to match her amazing skill level or beat her on the court through hard work and dedication. It is scary that she is being hurt physically when she is most weak. This is the worst basketball game Cheryl Miller has ever seen, according to her. Because of this, people in the basketball world started to talk about what Cheryl Miller said. Cheryl Miller said that Clark's situation was similar to times when she was physically threatened at work. She didn't hesitate to bring up anything that made Clark feel better or put her situation in context, though. She stressed that Clark, who is only 22, is going through a lot more trouble than most athletes do at this point in their lives. On top of that, she needs to become the unmistakable face of women's basketball. But Cheryl Miller's comment about Alyssa Thomas's future in the league, which is going around on social media right now, is ridiculous.
Seems to be something involving this girl, and there's an elevated level of physicality that obviously compromised her availability last season where she missed a few games. There is a palpable resentment towards this girl, where you have people who are resenting of her star power and her cachet. And as a result, if they have an opportunity to go at her, they're going to take it. Now, Caitlin Clark is no innocent bystander.
Cheryl Miller compared Clark's state to her own freshman year, when opponents put her through a lot of physical tests. She said Clark is dealing with this behavior as well as the huge amount of media attention and demands that come with being the most marketable player in the WNBA. This is why Cheryl Miller's support for Clark is so important. In her defense, she's not just one talented athlete. She is protecting the basics of basketball. Caitlin Elizabeth Clark has all the qualities that make basketball special, such as skill, vision, class, and a strong desire to win. She also thinks that players like Alyssa Thomas are bad for the sport in every way. The experienced basketball players stress that the WNBA is at a very important juncture right now. They can do one of two things. They can either keep letting weaker players cheat to stay in the game, or they can protect and promote their best players, letting people like Clark reach their full potential and make the league better as a whole. It was clear what Cheryl Miller meant. The league's success will depend on the choice that is made. But this is the subject that everyone is arguing about. The WNBA should protect Caitlin Clark, but will they do that, or will they let athletes like Alyssa Thomas hurt the league's reputation by doing bad things? Let us keep talking about it in the comments part below. What do you think about Cheryl Miller's harsh words about Alyssa Thomas's actions? Do you think she is being too critical, or do you think her worries are legitimate? Even more importantly, do you think the WNBA will protect its biggest star in the long run? Please write your thoughts in the box below that says, comments. I read all of them. Turn on the warning bell and click the subscribe button if you want to see more analysis like this that gets to the heart of basketball games. The controversial things that Cheryl Miller said might have an effect on Caitlin Clark's situation in the WNBA. The basketball community is keeping a close eye on this situation. As the story goes on, it gets harder and harder to ignore one thing. No longer are discussions limited to a single game, a single bad call, or a single event that is being questioned. It's about the growth of women's basketball, the rules the league tries to follow, and how the league's best players are treated in public. Caitlin Clark had to deal with a lot of pressure before she joined the WNBA. A huge number of people watch every game she plays. Every move she makes is looked at from every angle. It is well known that every success and every failure are noticed by everyone. That's what it means to be one of the most well-known basketball players today. At the same time, veterans from all over the league are still competing at the top levels. They bring years of experience, pride, and hard work to every game. The WNBA wants to make sure that competitive games never get too rough or aren't needed. Fans want a lot of intensity. They want to compete. They want to see real basketball. On the other hand, they want fairness, security, and respect. People are very angry about Cheryl Miller's comments because she knows what it's like to perform under pressure. During her amazing career, Cheryl Miller played against and was defended by some of the toughest women in women's basketball history. However, her lesson was more than just being tough. It was about keeping the game pure and making sure that basketball skill, not controversy, stayed the main focus. No matter if you agree with Cheryl Miller 100% or think she's exaggerating the situation, her words have definitely caused a stir. Fans, experts, past players, and media personalities are still debating what should happen when the league's finest players become the focal point of physical competition. Do the officials need to be stricter? Should the league punish people more harshly? Does this happen a lot in professional basketball? It looks like everyone responds differently. There is no doubt about Caitlin Clark's answer. She has kept her attention on basketball and hasn't let controversy, physical defense, or criticism shape her career. She keeps competing, showing up, and showing why so many people think she's the future of the sport. One of the main reasons people still support her is that she doesn't give up. The WNBA is getting more attention than ever before. More and more people are watching, stadiums are getting full, conversations on social media are growing all the time, and new basketball fans are discovering women's basketball for the first time. Situations like these hurt not only the reputation of a player or team, but also the league's reputation around the world. Every game will be more important as the season goes on. Observers will be paying close attention to every game that Caitlin Clark plays in. Every play that causes trouble will be looked at. Every official choice will be questioned. This is one of the most talked about WNBA seasons ever, and every game will add to the story. You now have the most important question. Do you think Cheryl Miller's words accurately describe how things are in the league right now? Do you think the WNBA protects its players well enough while still letting them play aggressive, competitive basketball? What do you think this will mean for Alyssa Thomas, Caitlin Clark, and the league as a whole? Please tell us what you think in the space below. I really want to know what people around the world who like basketball think. Your point of view could be in a movie one day, and having polite conversations is what makes our community great. You can get more in-depth basketball analysis, exclusive updates, and the latest news about the WNBA, NBA stars, and Caitlin Clark by clicking the subscribe button and turning on notifications. That way, you'll never miss an upload again. Thank you for your help. Have a great night, and know that every night we write basketball history. You'll find out about the next chapter here, which might be even more important than this one. Enter your thoughts in the box below, subscribe, and make sure all of your notifications are turned on so you don't miss anything. When you click on the movie, we'll see you in the next one.